Hey everyone, it is Move Live with Courtney on Wednesdays, and we're going to take a little different direction today because I don't think I'm getting my point across to how I really want movement, how I am treating my body, and how I want to encourage others to treat their bodies, not just exercise at all cost or restrictive extreme dieting, things like that. That's not really what I'm about. So I want to take time, share a little bit more of my journey and my story and how I got here and how I really am equipped to help people with their health in a lot deeper way than just, hey, let's work out and take some supplements. So here we go. So first of all, my personal story, I've always hung my hat on being an athlete, and I secretly wanted to play more than one sport in college and thought I was only going to play 4 years of softball. And then because I worked hard, I guess, and was given an opportunity to play basketball my 5th year. After I played 4 years of softball, I was able to be on a college basketball team my 5th year. And in that season, I went into that season, trained for a triathlon before I even knew that I was going to be a basketball player. So I already had that self-drive. And when I was going to be on the basketball team, I was so excited for the conditioning program. I know that sounds kind of maybe sadistic or, I like glutton for punishment, but I was so excited to be able to condition and work out as a basketball player because I felt like it was going to challenge me in a whole new way. So I played 4 years college softball. Over the summer, I was training for a triathlon. During a water break on campus, I was asked if I could join the basketball team, and I showed out the first week of conditioning. So that's where I was. We get right when season started, and I started getting sick. Usually some seasonal stuff around October, usually not a big deal. Suck it up, get through it. I went from all of that to by Christmas, I think it was right after we returned from Christmas doing some practices, I couldn't even run up and down the floor, do one sprint up and down the court without feeling like I got hit by a truck. I had to physically lay down on the court to because my body couldn't go anymore. A few weeks later, during that time, I was back and forth with the doctor. Okay, so I wasn't just ignoring it. I was tested for parasites. I was tested for just some acid reflux type stuff. I had mono test. I had flu test, multiple mono tests, multiple flu tests. I guess they didn't believe the first time that I didn't have that. And finally had a scan done on my gallbladder, and it was functioning at 7%. And I had no idea what a gallbladder was, but I knew I could get rid of it, and I didn't really need it. So I said, get it out now. We got it out, and I got worse. And I was then prescribed pain medication and continuously prescribed pain medication. And if you knew me at that time, I was doing lessons with little girls. Like I can't be on pain medication and try to make sense. So I was like, it's one or the other. So I stopped the pain medicine and just sucked it up. From about April to December, I was on a liquid diet. Anything I ate solid hurt me. I was basically smoothies and soup pretty much until I was like, hey, this is enough. I can't sustain this. I'm 23, so I'm still pretty young. And I wrote down everything I ate, and by that night, I narrowed it down to wheat. I went back to the doctor and said, hey, wheat hurts. They said probably celiacs. We can test it, but I already stopped eating gluten for 2 weeks prior to that appointment, and I was actually feeling better. And they said, well, you can eat some of it and we can test you. I said, no, thanks, right? It took me this long. I don't need another test if I'm actually getting results. So that was like in 2009. So there wasn't gluten-free foods on every shelf like there is now. So I had a lot of navigation to do. And also, I was in school to be a biochemical engineer. So I learned a lot of things there, like real biology. Like I learned about peptides in school from the school book, and they're amazing. You cannot function without peptides. So we'll reference all of that here. You got to have peptides. They're just chains of amino acids. Amino acids make up your DNA. So it's chains of amino acids that basically signal your body to do the things that it needs to do, like repair, go to sleep, create this hormone, make more blood, whatever your body needs to get done. Peptides are the signals to, it's the messenger. It's like, hey, send this note, carrier pigeon, and whew, tell your body what to do. That's peptide's job. All right. So I've also learned a lot of other deeper things, like what is the actual FDA approval process? What do you have to do to be FDA compliant? Which I can share those things later if you want to go deeper on foods and medicines and things like that. Fast forward, I was in the fitness industry. Of course, y'all probably remember softball pitching was my thing. Got into just overhead rotational athletes in general. Started with softball and was working with a lot of high level professional, collegiate, Olympic type athletes at that point. And ultimately, every one of them had to know way more than just how to do the movements. They needed to know how to eat, how to fuel, how to train, how to build muscle, and all of these things. So I knew that in that field, if I could figure out a way to charge health insurance, my business would blow up. But that took me a turn. So now I am licensed to sell health insurance, I understand health insurance. And one of the biggest things that I see is that people who have a certain type of health insurance are victims of a system. They're prescribed pills, they're not listened to. They think all these things are wrong with them and that there's no hope other than this medication. They're completely dependent on things that are not true. It's a complete lie. So I want to talk more about stewardship because a lot of people move their bodies. I spoke with a lady recently who is not a healthy weight in any stretch of the imagination, but she gets her 10,000 steps in per day. And she doesn't understand why things aren't different for her body because she thinks movement and steps are a cure, but it's not. It's a total system. So I want to talk about stewarding your bodies. If we really want to get results, exercise is a small piece, but there's so much more to it. And how in depth we want to go here. I definitely have my Bible open today. So this isn't a normal training handbook, but it should be. I have it open to Matthew 25. It starts in verse 14. It's the parable of the talents. So essentially, here from the kingdom of heaven, it's like man traveling to, and this is red words, guys. So red words means Jesus is speaking this. So for the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents. Okay. The other 2, and to another one. So each according to his ability, and immediately he went on the journey. So there was 3 people who received something according to their talents, right? According to their ability. So you got these talents according to their ability. Then he who received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. So he took that and stewarded it properly and turned it into more. Okay. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. Okay. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. So he didn't do anything with it. He just hid it. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You want to hear that, guys. I'm telling you, that's a phrase you want to hear at some point. You were faithful over few things, so I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Okay. He who also had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Okay. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you'd be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid. That's what the medical industry wants you to be. They want you to be afraid, okay? They want that. That's not from God. That's from the enemy. So they want you to be afraid. And I was afraid, and I went and I hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant. It's kind of opposite of what you want to hear, right? You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to be deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. Okay. So we took it from him. All right. So if we're not, we may not, I know this is a parable, so this is a descriptive story, but there's a main biblical resounding point that we want to get to. God gave you one body. If you're afraid that it's broken, or if you're afraid of what type of label a doctor or prescription, then you're going to take more. You're going to continue to get weaker, you're sicker, more medication, more things, more dependency, and less um, of what God planned your body to be. Okay, so that's stewardship. What you give, take care of it, you will get more. So I feel like, in a way, because I've stewarded my body, and we'll go through that, and I've figured out a lot of things. I still have a lot more to go. That I have access to people with bodies that are listening and hearing me, and are looking for ways to steward it better. So we're going to go into, what are you putting into your body? So like I said, it's not just about how many steps, how many times you go to the gym. Yes, that is huge and it's important, and I want to celebrate that, but there's more to stewarding your body than just moving it. And what are we putting into it? Food, that's a given. Food, drink, whatever. Media, the thoughts, and the stuff we put on our body. As a girl, I love going through the beauty aisles and the lotions and the perfumes and the makeups, but they attack your body as well, especially if you really have no idea what you're doing. So what we put in on our body, in our brains, in our minds, it is all fitness. Okay, it's all a part of the fitness puzzle that I want to help people put that together for themselves. I've spent years doing it for myself, learning it the hard way, being able to come out ahead better. I actually turned 40 tomorrow, and I can't believe it because my body still feels like I'm not really in my 20s when I was eating all the bad stuff. But once I eliminated the wheat and gluten from my body, I still feel the same. So I want to have everyone achieve that. So this is where, fitness is accountability, because if you're not getting the steps in, you're not paying attention to what your body needs and wants. So I want to take that a step further, that it's not just about movement, it's about what you're always doing, and easy ways to get started. So the Smith Fit Club was completely designed to teach the fundamental steps of nutrition and how your body works. And it's also the fundamental steps of fitness. So if your feet aren't connected to the ground the right way, you're not going to be able to stand upright and do any other movement properly. So it really breaks everything down from, what are you supposed to do with your feet? How do we move our hips? What is our core's job, and how our shoulders are really supposed to move so we don't have neck pain and deal with tension and stress. So there's several layers of actual physical part that we cover on top of the nutrition part. So Smith Fit Club gives a great clear foundation. It's about a 6-week program if you go through it exactly the way it is, but it's designed for you to go at your own pace. So it could take you 6 months, whatever pace makes sense for you, but it's there. So what my nutrition program, I called it High for a reason: hydration, intermittent fasting, and inflammation reduction. If you can master those 3 things in what you eat and what you put into your body, we can eliminate chronic headaches. You can eliminate joint pain, acid reflux, so mild hypertension. So you might have been prescribed blood pressure medication, but it's really may just be electrolyte imbalances. Okay, so just drinking water and having what is an electrolyte and what it really does. So having a quick discussion. Pre-diabetes, that leads into diabetes. Seasonal allergies. Okay, so if you are someone who takes pain medication, over-the-counter pain medication on any type of regular basis, and regular means more than 3 days in a row and more often than every 2 weeks. Let's see. Antacids, any of those medications, there's a slew of them that will help with acid stomach issues. Let's see, antihistamine, so all the allergy type medications, and then sleep aids, because that is fatigue, usually a bigger sign of hormonal imbalance dysregulation. And those are just a small fraction of the medications that you honestly do not ever need. And my family was on those medications, and I had been putting them through. Um, Part of the nutrition program is seasonal eating. So, learning how to eat with the seasons to nurture your body in the right way. You know, we're not on medications, over the counter medications at all. None of us are. And my husband and my youngest did allergy medications pretty heavy for a while. And we live in Alabama, so North Alabama. So that's a pretty much a hotbed for our seasonal allergies. It's one of the highest risk places to live. So to be allergy free because of our diet and not because of medication is something I want to spread to you, because that's freedom. Okay. And we talk about that in our podcast. What is real freedom? But if you have to take a medicine every day, you're not free. So let's see. We talked a little bit about that nutrition program. I can't speak more of it. If you have, I know we have some live people on there, you're welcome to jump in. But that nutrition program sets the base for how to take care of your body. And a lot of the stuff is eat this, don't eat that. You're not having to spend extra money or buy expensive food. You're probably going to save a lot of money, because intermittent fasting, you eat less, and it's that layer too. So that's where I want to encourage people to start. Now, as far as supplements and stuff go, if you're not on the peptide train, you are missing out. This is how your body is supposed to go. Like I said, I've studied peptides and how the biochemistry inside your body does not function without peptides, and getting peptides into your body is, I don't see any other route. If you're okay with taking antihistamines and over-the-counter medications for more than 3 days at a time, and you're against putting things in your body that are actually supposed to be in your body, that are actually doing good, then I don't know how we can have conversations, but that's where we're at. So peptides can come in many forms, guys. I put this peptide in my coffee. Protein. This is an actual caramel macchiato flavor. It's made for coffee. It's peptides. This is more of a skin, hair, nails, joints, reduced inflammation. It's dairy free. Dairy can cause inflammation. So just switching up proteins to something dairy free helps. And it's gourmet flavors, guys. Muscle Sport. I can get you a 10% discount. Just let me know. I'll send you the links. But the gourmet flavors on all of their stuff taste amazing. And this is just a really easy peptide to start with. Okay. And it's ingestible. Some peptides go into your system. It's like they're words. If you can think of them as they go into your system, they're words. Stomach acid turns them into letters. And then when we get back into your body, they reform those words again, guys. I'm not having major discussions with a lot of people about that don't have biochemical engineering degrees, but it can work. All right. You're supposed to get your amino acids through food. But food isn't created like it used to. And that's a totally different discussion. So that's a way to get peptides. Here's another way to get peptides. Most of the things here are mixed in your water. One of them is put it under your tongue. The stress hormone that helps attack cortisol. So if you are overwhelmed, stressed, let's get you on this and let's start lowering that so you can start taking back control over your body and your mental states. But these mixed in water, they taste awesome. I fight my kids over them because they love the taste, but I'm like, this is not just, water flavoring. It's a little deeper than that. And they also have pills, oral pills. I meant to bring those out here, but I left them. And then let's talk about the other type of peptide that I also agree works. Y'all, I'm on this. Brian is also on a protocol. We're both completely separate. I'm on the hair, skin, and nails make me look pretty protocol. And inflammation has reduced. I am down, let's see, Make helped me get down about 8 pounds. And then when I went to, hey, I'm just going to do the vanity stuff, I lost, I'm down, I was 160 to 150, so I'm down 18 pounds total with these. And I'm not even on the weight loss one. So weight loss peptides are your, all the GLP-1, GLP-2s. I have access to all of those things for you guys and some other stuff. And there's also some really strong stuff orally that this same company we can get you as well too. But peptides do heal. They do what they say they're going to do. And anybody who's okay with taking over the counter medications for whatever reason, they don't understand them. Like, I don't understand why this would be a pushback. So let's have that conversation. Let's get you educated. But peptides can come in all levels. I even have a peptide that tastes like soy sauce that I use when I make Asian flavored food for my kids, fried rice and things like that. So we're getting peptides into our systems when we can. But, you know, this can heal you. This can create freedom. This doesn't block for me. I feel like a lot of medications, when I was taking them, I felt numb, especially if you're someone who has taken any type of antidepressants. You get numb to a lot of things. I've heard horror stories. People gained weight because they can't feel full because they're just so numb to everything. And you really don't want to be numb to emotions because it's what life is about. So we can, there's even peptides to help with people who are on mental type medications. And I'm happy to walk you through your personal stack and personal protocols on how to achieve your goals. But outside of this, I mean, there's also putting things on our body, what we listen to. There's so many ways to be fit that is more than movement, guys. And it's all stewardship. You can't just go to the gym and then do whatever you want and not figure out why you're not seeing any results. It's something is broken in your system. So that's what I'm here to do. That's what I designed Smith Fit Club to be able to do, is to put in an actual system that works, that can fix, that can heal, that can rebuild, that can give you a new start, that can give you a new life. I don't think anybody would ever disagree. I hear this comparison all the time. It's, if you got one car at age 16, it's the only car you're ever going to get. How would you treat it? But nobody ever realizes that, hey, your body is exactly, that's a real thing. Like, you're not going to get a different body. This is the one you got. So how can you steward that? And I have the background and experience and the ability to coach and teach to help more with that. So really, that's what we're here to do. I want to create dialogue. I want to create more of a direct path for people who are serious about taking their health in the taking a hold of their health and really being in control and getting it optimized, where you have the energy you need to do what God has called you to do, and whatever that is. We're going to need energy to get that done. All right. So Smith Fit Club, you know, a lot of the techniques that I teach are completely free, but we pay to pay attention, guys. That's how this world works. So $49 gets you started with this foundation and get you access to deeper conversations. And then we can push forward with more one-on-one coaching, building out your custom plans and protocols to get you right. So if you're considering investing in any type of personal training and you're not getting a system, you're just getting workouts, I would love to have a conversation with you, see how we can help. So 49smithfitclub.com. It'll get you started. Full transformation start at it with a foundation. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for just being a part of not just what we're trying to do, part of my story. And we are truly here to help you get your fitness, mental fitness, physical fitness, spiritual fitness all on track, guys. All right. So, because at the end of the day, we all want to hear, you know, let's see, where is it? Well done, good and faithful servant. You heard what the other guy heard. So let's get it all done, guys. Y'all have a great Wednesday. Thanks for watching.